All right, welcome back. Hope you're having a good morning so far. Looks like the bulls are not going to have a great morning, given that the implied opening is suggesting a cut of 120 points. But we'll take it as it comes because this market has pretty much been a buy on dip. So hopefully that should be the case even in the next couple of days. But Vamakshi is joining in to tell us why you need to watch JSW Energy this morning. Vamakshi, good morning.
Well, good morning, Sonia. JSW Energy on our radar because the company has launched a QIP. They are looking to raise 5,000 odd crores, and in fact, this could lead to nearly 6.27% of equity dilution. Sources tell us largely these funds will be utilized towards repayment of outstanding borrowing, investment in JSW Neo Energy as well as for general corporate purposes. Now keep in mind that we had indicated earlier that our sources were suggesting that Qatar-based prominent investors were eyeing a stake in JSW Neo Energy. The floor price of this QIP has been determined at 510 rupees per share, which when compared to the closing price yesterday is at a discount of almost 6%. But more importantly, our sources tell us that the indicative issue price for this QIP is at 485 rupees per share, which is even lower than the floor price. So on the back of that, expect the stock to open lower today.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Vamakshi. Well, I'm tracking Ultratech Cement. You know, when there was a new player, a formidable player that came into the cement industry, people said Ultratech is going to have it tough. Well, they've upped their game and they're king of the cement industry. Now, overnight, they've gone ahead and commissioned 2 new greenfield projects in Tamil Nadu as well as Chhattisgarh. 12 months or so, they've commissioned capacities of around 18.7 million tons. So they have kept at it. The total capacity has now moved to around 151 million tons. And they're saying, you know, if you put it in a global context, well, that's more than what the United States has. And it's 80% of what Europe has. So big capacity is what they're sitting on of around 150 million tons. The expansion trajectory as well, they put it into context. They did the first 100 million tons. That's Aditya Birla Group in around 36 years. And the last 5 years, they've added 50 million tons. So that's the kind of expansion that they've done. And they've outpaced the industry by a mile. And they're not yet done. They're at around 151 million tons. They're adding around 35 million tons. And also, you know, you throw in their Kesharam Industries, they say that they're headed to around 198 million tons. And they're committed to that capex of around 30,000 crores odd. So Ultratech Cement, the undisputed leader of the cement in pack, and that one, in fact, should open up in the green.
Okay, we'll watch out for that one. The last 1 month, Ultratech Cement has not done much. So let's see if it starts to pick up now. But Vamakshi is joining in to talk about Zee Entertainment and why you should be watching that one. Vamakshi, over to you.
Well, Sonia, the stock is expected to open higher today. Sentimentally positive news coming through for this counter. After the Zee-Sony merger fallout, the management has taken several measures for cost rationalization, and the latest one being that MD and CEO, Mr. Puneet Goenka, has taken a voluntary 20% pay cut. Now keep in mind that on March 29th as well, the company had decided to prune its technology and innovation center by almost 50% to achieve a cost-effective structure. Important to note that TIC incurred an expenditure of almost 600 crores in the last year, and in fact the company also reiterated that they will now be focusing on return on investment specifically from TIC. All of this is a part of the monthly management mentorship program, that is the 3M program that they've named it. This was institutionalized on March 26th, and in fact the objective of this program was to achieve key performance metrics, which includes the targeted 20% EBITDA margin. So all of these measures leading to cost rationalization for Zee Entertainment. Expect the stock to open high on the back of this.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Well, let's focus on some metal stocks, and you have the operational updates that are coming in there. Let's start off with Nalco, because that stock has done very, very well. It's very close to a 52-week high. And a couple of days ago, you know, on Bazaar itself, we had cited that that's a stock to track. Now, they come out with the operational update. It looks very, very good, either which ways. They say that they've reported a record year. And at optimal levels is what they're functioning at. Whether you look at the aluminium business, 4.7 lakh tons is what they've delivered out there. On the alumina business, they have delivered close to around 2.1 million tons, which is, again, peak levels out there. And also the sweetener is that the coal block, that's the Utkal D coal block, well, they've operationalized it and they've hit peak levels of around 2 million tons per annum. And that's what's going to help them in saving costs. So good going on them. The only problem is the global Q is a little bit jittery and the stock is up close to 10% in this week itself. Next up is Moil. Yesterday, the stock was a little under the weather, but otherwise the operational performance looks good. They as well have delivered a record year in terms of production as well as sales numbers for FY24. Production is up by close to 35%, and that's much better than the previous best year that they have, fiscal year that is in FY 2008. So that's much better. The sales number as well is up by close to 30%. So 30% sales growth, 35% production growth, and EMD, which is a small part of their business, but that's an import substitute. On a small base, that as well jumped up by close to 28%. So good going out there. And finally, Hindustan Zinc. They have delivered their highest ever quarterly metal production. The zinc business, that's the one that led the way. That was up by close to 9% on a sequential basis and 2% up on a year-on-year basis. Even the lead business, on a sequential basis, that's up by close to around 5%. And they're saying that the mined metal production has been driven by improved metal grades as well as higher ore production. The saleable steel, that's the saleable silver, that's a sweetener that comes in there. Silver prices have been strong, and now they're clocking 189 tons on a quarterly basis. For the year, they're close to around 750 tons. So that one as well should see a positive opening. Keep in mind, only around 2.5% of the float is in the market. So that's something that you should track. But Sonia, you're tracking Bharat Forge and the likes.
Yes, I am, because the North American Class A truck order data is out and it's not looking good. So watching out for that one, both on a month-on-month as well as on a year-on-year basis. The truck data is indicating a fall. Now, remember this entire segment, right? Globally and locally, the commercial vehicle space has been under pressure. Growth has moderated. It's also coming off a very, very high base. So, just keep an eye out on that. The March North American orders have come in at 17,300 units. This compares to 25,700 last month. So it's a steep fall that we've seen month on month. And the orders have slipped month on month for the fourth straight month. Now, for Bharat Forge, this matters because about 11-12% of their business comes from the North American truck market. There are, of course, other companies like Ramakrishna Forgings, etc., that also get impacted due to this. So I'm going with red for these stocks because of the pressure that we're seeing in the North American truck market. But a couple of other stocks that are in the news this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, I think
we have Upasana. Let's get in Upasana. Upasana, if you could join in and give us some more stocks in the news.
Well, good morning. First up is Sunteck Realty. The company expanded its annuity income business of its commercial portfolio, and it entered into a long-term agreement of its premium commercial building, that is Sunteck Econ, to Bennett Coleman. The build-up area of this is around 2 lakh square feet with a rental of almost 300 rupees per square feet per month on a carpet area basis, leading to a revenue of close to almost 2,000 crores over a tenure of 29 years. Hence, this stock will remain in focus today, and I expect to start in green. Next up is Anupam Rasayan. The company signs an LOI with Japanese multinational company worth rupees 743 crores over next 7 years. The contract is mainly to supply to advanced intermediates using fluorination chemistry. And lastly, Indiabulls Real Estate will also remain in focus as the board meeting is scheduled on 5th of April to consider the proposal of raising of funds by way of debt, equity or any other securities. Hence, these are the stocks that I'll be watching out today.
All right, thanks a lot for that. Well, let's do a quick recap of our top stocks with positive news flow. Ultratech Cement, Zee Entertainment, Hindustan Zinc, Nalco, Moil, Sunteck Realty, Anupam Rasayan and Indiabulls Real Estate, while stocks with negative news flow, JSW Energy and Bharat Forge. But we've also had a spike up in crude, and that is something that's not gone down well with the street. Manisha Gupta is joining in for a roundup of all the action from the commodity markets overnight. Manisha, over to you.
Thank you for that, Sonia. Well, yes, the fears of broader conflict in the Middle East and especially Iran vowing retaliation against Israel is something that the markets have seen premium buying come in back in case of all of these tangible commodities. The crude oil prices surged yet again. They're trading at a 5-month highs right now. Apart from the global concerns, the geopolitical concerns, that is, it also is about the U.S. inventory seeing a decline for a third straight week. There are supply disruptions that we've been dealing in Russia with. And then Mexico also says that they will also cut their oil exports. The street will watch out for the OPEC and allies meeting today, while the major expectation is that they will keep production cuts at 2.2 million barrels per day till the end of June. But any statement coming in from the OPEC and allies is something that the street will watch out for. In the meanwhile, you have seen a run-up continue in case of metals as well. Gold is trading at yet another all-time highs. Silver is trading at a 23-month highs. Copper is trading around 11-month highs, aluminum at a 3-month high. So most of these tangible commodities, even as the dollar index is firm, seem to be doing quite well.
All right, Manisha, thanks very much for that. Well, that's commodities with gold and silver in focus. Actually, it's all commodities, right? Devin Chokshi is with us of DR Chokshi Finserv. We talk specific stocks when we come back in just a bit from now.